Hello, my name is Maria and I'm a certified mental health life coach. I just want to share something with you. I suffer, I go through a lot, I've been through a lot, but I just want to share something with you. When you've been broken down to your core and you're at your lowest point and there's nobody around to build you up or put you back together, you have a choice. You can stay in it and do nothing, or you can pull yourself together and pull yourself out of it. And how do you do that? You stop being so codependent. You realize nobody can make you happy. Happy is a choice. And while others do bring us happiness, it's not where happiness is really at. Um, when when you can focus on yourself and put your wants and needs over others, and where you start being kind to yourself and you show yourself self-love, you won't accept anything less from anybody. When you start caring about yourself and you start being kind to you and good to you, you won't allow anybody else to treat you bad, because you'll want that kindness that you've been given to yourself. The kindness if no one's that kind to you, you don't want to be around them, because you, with that kindness comes a peace, and you're like, this is what I want to be around. This kindness, I want this kindness in my life. Anyway, um, you get to focus on yourself and your wants and your needs, and put yourself first. You won't accept anything less from anyone else. There's nothing more dangerous than a woman that is okay with being alone and not needing anybody. They say if she don't carry a purse, she's learned to survive with nothing, and that's me. I don't carry a purse. People can teach us to be alone while being sitting in the same room with you. You don't have to know. If you don't know your worth, someone can make you feel so small, like you don't even matter. When you care when you care about yourself, when you don't care about yourself, others don't either, and they will treat you that way. If you allow them, when they are capable of being, when you are capable of being alone and taking yourself out on dates and have bought yourself roses for yourself, and you've reached a point where you don't I can't read my writing, but you don't then you made progress in the right direction. um, Never stay anywhere you're not appreciated and only get fed breadcrumbs. You're more than that, you know. Don't let the breadcrumbing keep you stuck in a place where that you think that's all you deserve. um, you get silent treatment and no attention, and you're not seen for days on end, and then all of a sudden you get a little bit of attention one day, and then the next day you're back to no attention again. You're better than the breadcrumbs that they give you. You've got to be broken down to your core. That everything that is wrong with you, the wrong person can come in your life and it will point out all your insecurities and all the things that's wrong with you, and it will highlight those so you can work on those. It'll highlight them so it brings your awareness to them, and once you work on those, then you'll stop attracting those type of people that don't value you. You need to be around people that value you, that want to spend time with you, that want to rush home from work and see you and see how your day was and tell you about their day. When someone chooses you to be their best friend, when you're the one someone wants to spend all their time with and hang out with and be with and do for, um, when when you're not the one feeling like a third wheel, when you don't feel like a burden, or you can't say or do nothing right, or there's just nothing about you good enough. You come so small when a person walks in a room. You're scared to even engage in conversation because you don't know how it's going to be flipped around and turned around and used against you. So you don't want to share too much. There's a thing when that happens, you either break and you stay broken and you let that define you, or you start putting yourself back together and you start working with your mentality and saying, you know what, this is really happening to me and I'm allowing it, and there's a reason why I don't feel I'm good enough and I think I deserve this. But once you understand you don't deserve that, nobody does. Once you know better, you do better. Once you know so, you go so. Once you know a person for who they are and how they're going to treat you, and you know that that they're never going to respect you, they're never going to value you. Once you know so, then you go. If you stay, then you're choosing to stay at a place that you're devalued, you're not appreciated. That means you still don't feel worthy or loved. So that means you still got to work on the inside of you and find out, why do you not feel worthy? And I know why I never felt worthy. No one ever stood up for me as a child. I would have to give over my shoes off my feet to another kid because another kid wanted them and wanted to play with them. Whether they fit the other kid or not, I would have to take off my new shoes or whatever toy I was playing with, and I had to give it to another kid because they wanted it. I was taught as a young age that my needs didn't matter, that I wasn't important, that all someone had to do was cry for what I wanted and they could have it, that I wasn't deserving enough to not have to give up my shoes off my feet to somebody else. No one stood up for me. No one showed me that I mattered. I grew up in a household where I wasn't seen. I wasn't heard. I wasn't there. It was like I wasn't there. My needs didn't matter. My opinions didn't matter. No one ever asked me what I wanted or what I thought. No one ever cared. I never made any choices. I just went along with whatever I was told to do. And I'm 45 years old, and I'm tired of being told what to do. I'm tired of thinking that kind of love is healthy love, because it's not. I'm tired of thinking that, second guessing that I can't make good enough choices for myself. I'm tired of feeling like I'm not good enough or worthy enough because someone has made me feel so small, because no one ever stood up for me as a little girl. Well, you know what? I'm standing up for that little girl inside of me today. And I'm standing up for her. And I'm saying she ain't taking no more. She has a voice now. No one stood up for her when she was little, but I'll stand up for her now. I will stand up for her now because she does matter. And she should have never had to give her shoes over to another kid just because another kid wanted them and was crying for them. That kid should have cried and just had to cry and not gotten her shoes. That's how it should have went. And from now on, that's how things are going to go for her in her life. She's not going to be pushed around anymore. She's not fear